Good evening. We're going to begin our festivities and recognize our honored guests. Well, first, I'd like to thank the Granite Rose. Have a nice round of applause for doing a nice job. I'd like to take this opportunity. Mr. Woodworth, as you know, and our high school was recognized as the High School of the Year. So I want to congratulate Don, his staff. Really an incredible honor and the hard work of the district. We really appreciate it. Another person I'd like to recognize tonight, as you retire, sometimes people leave and we don't always get a chance to recognize them and congratulate them and thank them for all their contributions. So very proud as we stand in Hampstead that we're congratulating one of our assistant principals at our award-winning high school as she goes on to become the principal of Hampstead Middle School. So I'd like to take this opportunity to congratulate Maria Denola and thank her for all her hard work. So, as you know, as you retire, it gives me a great opportunity to hire all my family and friends, and so, just kidding. But recently, though, people that have come on board have said, you know how lucky you are to have the principals that you have running our buildings, and I couldn't agree more. We have 7 outstanding leaders, our elementary principals, our middle school principal, and our high school principal. We are so very, very fortunate, and you're going to get an opportunity to thank them. They're all here tonight, of course, supporting the excellence in this room, and so their excellence is, and we appreciate your work. The work that you do is just incredible. So, it's been said that excellence is not a matter of chance; it's a matter of choice. And so, each one of the retirees tonight, even the ones that didn't have the opportunity to join us tonight, have chosen to be excellence, and they've really focused on 2 reasons in terms of how they were excellent. One, they relied on their habits of the heart and their habits of the mind. You've cared for our kids, and you've worked so hard to bring them the brightest and best children in Timberlane. And so we appreciate that. Your roles are so hard to replace, but we're here to recognize and celebrate. So on behalf of the district, on behalf of the superintendent's leadership team, on behalf of the principals and all the rest of the staff, congratulations to all of you. Well deserved. Enjoy your retirement. At this point, I'd like to welcome, we have a school board that has been tremendously supportive. They're behind the work. They have very high standards. They demand excellence from all of us, and certainly the leadership on our school board with Mr. Collins and now Ms. Steenson. So it's with great pleasure I welcome Madam Chair Nancy Steenson to offer some words of congratulations.
Good evening, everybody. Can you hear me? Great. On behalf of the Timberlane Regional School Board, I want to thank you for your many years of service to this district. I am well aware that with your talent, intelligence, and abilities, the world had much to offer you all of these years. However, you chose to dedicate your lives to our children. You didn't do it for the material riches. You didn't do it for the easy hours. And I know you didn't do it for the thanks. But I'd like to take this moment to sincerely thank you on behalf of the children of Timberlane. There are many, many children, some of whose names you won't even remember, who will remember you always because of the difference you made. Each of you has made the Timberlane Regional School District a better place because of your service. We thank you and we wish you well in your retirement. So, hit the snooze button a few times. Excuse me. Enjoy a cup of tea while reading the morning paper. Walk barefoot in your backyard while contemplating the possibility of weeding the garden. Teach your grandchildren to blow bubbles. In the words of one of my favorite literary characters, Winnie the Pooh, don't underestimate the value of doing nothing, of just going along, listening to all the things you can't hear, and not bothering. Thank you again, and best of luck to you all. Thank you very much, and I'd like now to welcome Dr. Roxanne Wilson up for a few words.
Good evening. This is always a special night, and I just love coming here because it's a way for us to recognize the work that we do and to recognize those folks who have put in countless hours of after-school work, weekends, vacations. We know what it's all about. It's hard work, and we do it with heart. And so I just wanted to say to all of you who are here today, who are retiring, that we wish you a very happy journey in your new challenge, which is trying to figure out what you're going to do every day. So I would like to introduce the principal, Michelle Gatos from Pollard School, who will start our evening. Thank you, Michelle.
Nancy Marvin received her Bachelor of Science at Kuka College in elementary education in 1969, and then in 1971, her Master's in Education from the College of St. Rose. She was hired by the Timberlane Regional School District in 1989 as a special education assistant in the emotionally handicapped program under the direction of Daria Conklin. In 1991, the program and Nancy moved to Pollard School. In 1994, she was hired as a classroom teacher, spending most of the next 20 years as a third grade teacher. Nancy's experience as a special education assistant helped her to become the teacher she is today. She can differentiate her lessons for those students above or below grade level before it was in vogue. True with every great educator, Nancy embraced her own learning and participated in experiences such as summer science camp and writing workshops. She also kept every bookstore within a 25-mile radius in business, purchasing thousands of books throughout her career. She is, however, one of our last holdouts for the overhead projector. Most extraordinary is that Nancy has the uncanny ability to relate to her students, get down at their level and talk to them, and still have them treat her as with the utmost respect. She knows how to engage her students, whether with a silly hat, a clock, or possibly a special motivating prize students could earn with her toonies. Every class I was able to observe over the past 10 years was a family, a community, all with Nancy at the helm. Nancy's students and colleagues describe her as creative, hardworking, compassionate, understanding, and fun. In a nutshell, Nancy has heart. Nancy has a special place in my heart, and I am sure in every heart she has ever touched. She truly cares about the people she works with, and Nancy, we truly care about you. Nancy doesn't plan to sit idly by in her retirement. She is moving to California to be with her son Brian, her daughter Kristen, her son-in-law, and grandson Cadell. I know that she will channel her creative and eclectic style with some new adventure. Nancy, we wish you all the best in your retirement from Pollard School and the next chapter of your life in California. We will miss you. Nancy.
We have two folks from Sandown Central who are here tonight, and I'd like to ask that Doug Rolfe come up, please. Oh, there you are.
Very excited, but also heartfelt feelings tonight for two of the retirees from Sandown Central School. First of all, Gail Caprioli. Gail came to Timberlane in October of 1985 when she started her tenure as a special education teacher assistant at Sandown Central School. She devoted herself in the earliest years to the neediest children. Not only did she support the children, she would go above and beyond to help the teachers that she came in contact in many classrooms every day. Gail continued to work at Sandown Central until 2003. While she was a special ed teacher assistant, she went back to school to obtain a college degree. In 2003, she received a Bachelor of Science degree from the College of Lifelong Learning, majoring in behavioral science, with certification in special education. It was with an extra special time for Gail because she graduated at the same time as her youngest daughter did, which is really unique. In the fall of 2003, Gail was hired as a special education teacher at the middle school, and she worked with the special needs students in 7th grade. From 2004 through 2006, Gail came back to Sandown and worked as a special education teacher at Sandown North. Once again, while teaching at Sandown North, Gail went back to college and pursued a Master's of Education degree from Plymouth State University, graduating in 2005. A position became available in special education at Sandown Central in the summer of 2006, and Gail was hired as a 4th grade special educator at Sandown Central School. This was a unique opportunity for Gail to come back to school where she started her career. Having Gail back at Central was like welcoming home a family member. She was very dedicated to her students and to Sandown Central School. You could always count on seeing Gail at school by 7 a.m. and not often leaving until 5:30 at night. Some of Gail's responsibilities included evaluations, case management, parent meetings, and IEPs. In addition, she oversaw some of the paraprofessionals who worked with special needs students as well. She has a special way about her to make others feel good about themselves, be it a student, a co-worker, or a parent. She would always volunteer to help out, whether it was taking notes at meetings or assisting with activities to support the students, staff, and parents. Gail is intelligent, quick-witted, and who always wears a smile on her face and her heart on her sleeve. For me, personally, Gail, one of the things I will miss most about you is, aside from your friendly smile and your good humor, is that you stop by my office at the end of the day, filling me in on the events of the day and to update me on your students. Gail has a love for her family first. She has 3 grandchildren who bring her overwhelming joy, 2 wonderful daughters, a husband, Bob, who is a true partner for life. She sings in her church choir, looks forward to vacations at Newfound Lake, takes an early morning row across Angle Pond, when weather permits, and truly has an unnatural love for pink flamingos, as known by all who know her. Gail is also known for her hospitality, and her shortbread cookies are truly legendary in Sandown. Gail, you will also have a little time for yourself. Take advantage of it. You deserve it. Since we all know how much you like learning, you may be interested in that adult education class being offered at the high school on Monday nights. It's called You Too Can Pump Your Own Gas. Without Bob. Take advantage of that, Bob. Gail has many avenues open to her in the coming years as she moves into retirement, guiding the growth of Sammy, John, and Ella, keeping her husband Bob functioning and fed, gardening, walking to keep her Fitbit numbers on track, and bringing joy to those around her. Again, when I reflect on Gail's tenure at Timberlane, I am impressed by all that she has accomplished, managing to earn a bachelor's and a master's degree while working full-time, in addition taking care of her family. It also reminds me of all the lives that she has touched and have made better with her years in service to the Sandown schools. Some words that come to mind when I think about Gail: caring, giving, dedicated, and compassionate. Gail, thank you for your dedication and years of service. We will miss you, but know that we are very happy for you and your family as you move into the next chapter of your life. Congratulations. Our next retiree at Sandown Central is Eileen Hull. Eileen received a Bachelor of Arts degree from Salem State University, majoring in psychology in 1974. While at Salem State, Eileen's student taught at Marblehead and was also part of the group that founded the Student Speech and Hearing Association in Massachusetts. Eileen went on to receive a Master's of Arts degree from Western Michigan University, majoring in speech pathology and audiology. While at Western Michigan University, working towards her master's degree, Eileen was fortunate to have Dr. Charles Van Riper as a professor who was the founder and leader of the field of speech pathology. Eileen is an active member of the American Speech and Hearing Association. She's licensed in the state of New Hampshire. Some of Eileen's early years included early intervention and work at rehabilitation facilities. She also did V&A work, which included going to Pingree Estate in South Hamilton, Massachusetts to treat Mrs. Pingree. Mary Pingree was the founder and co-educational institution, the Pingree Preparatory School, in 1961. Eileen also worked in several New Hampshire communities prior to coming to Timberlane. Eileen came to Timberlane 19 years ago. She was hired to work at Sandown Central in November of 1995 as a full-time speech pathologist for grades 1 through 5. While at Sandown Central School, Eileen worked with students in the area of articulation, language difficulties, learning disabilities, hearing impairments, multiple disabilities, and autism. She became familiar with assistive technology and augmentative communication devices. She also worked with FM systems for students as well. Her responsibilities included evaluations again, class management, case management, meetings, and IEPs. Eileen also supervised student interns from UNH, and over the years has also supervised speech assistants. One of Eileen's strengths is the ability to help students understand the demands of the curriculum and translate that into what her students need to be successful in the classroom. She has continued to be an active member of the Sandown staff, participating and volunteering for Sandown Central's Lip Sync, Volunteer Tea, and numerous other activities to support the school. While we know how wonderful Eileen is with students, there is something else that Eileen is very good at that not many people know about. It's her unique ability to hide objects, large and small, without people ever even noticing they are missing. And her specialty is antiques. Eileen is the oldest of 5 children, a city girl from Somerville in Wakefield, Massachusetts. Eileen has been married for 34 years to her husband, Bill, and has one daughter, Megan. She and her family have lived in Danville for 34 years. One of her favorite things is spending time with family. Being a New England girl, she has a love for the Red Sox and the Patriots. Eileen enjoys singing and is in the choral society where she met her husband, Bill. In addition to her love for music, Eileen also has a love for theater and Broadway musicals. Eileen was also active with the Timberlane Music Association. After her work with the Timberlane Music Association, Eileen began the Timberlane Community Chorus, which was founded in 2004 by a small group of women and men who love to sing and perform for others. She has a love for camping, going to the lakes, oceans, and traveling. She is an active person in her community and helps with church activities and committees. When I reflect on Eileen's tenure with Sandown Central School, it makes me proud, knowing that she has been part of the community for this past 19 years. She's a very caring, giving, and understanding person who persevered through some challenging cases to reach a successful outcome on the behalf of her students. Eileen, thank you for your dedication and your years of service to Sandown Central School. Eileen, will be missed, and we will miss you, and we wish you well. But know we are very happy for you and your family as you move into the next chapter of your life. Congratulations, Eileen.
Eileen and Gail, the only IEP that will be in your future is an individual entertainment pursuit. So, we wish you well on those objectives. Next, I would like to ask that Joanne Georgian, principal from Sandown North, come up. Thank you.
Hi, it gives me great pleasure to speak on behalf of Helen Weymouth this evening. I don't know what this fuzzy thing is. Okay. Helen Weymouth. Oh, thanks. Just what I need. Helen Weymouth was hired at Sandown Central School as an assistant in the library in 1989. In 2001, she began her work at Sandown North. Helen faced many challenges in her first years at North. A brand new library needed to be set up with limited resources. There was turnover, rather often, in the librarian position, causing some upheavals. Helen took charge in her quiet yet determined way, simply because it was the right thing to do. Helen is highly professional in all of her interactions. She enjoys being with children and often can't wait to share the things kids say. You can hear people laughing in the staff room or the office when she shares it in what has come to be known as the Helen way. It would be difficult to find anyone who has a stronger moral or ethical compass than Helen Weymouth. She addresses issues in a straightforward manner and asks questions to better understand. She gets the job done, always. Helen is viewed as a leader, and her opinion is valued. She is a lifelong learner, as evidenced by her earning an associate's degree in liberal arts teacher preparation just last year. She shares the newest in children's literature with her colleagues at the Paraprofessional PLC, getting others excited to introduce these books to children. At those meetings, she poses tough questions and expects that all will work together to find solutions. She doesn't let anyone off the hook. I know that one, Helen. Helen, your energy, commitment, perseverance, and honesty have been appreciated. Your leadership will be missed, but we are happy for you that you will have more time to enjoy your grandchildren and hopefully more time to spend in Canada as well. We wish you the best.
All right, a lot of the kids come into the library and they tell me little things, and this was my favorite all-time one. One of the kids came in and said, "Mrs. Weymouth, you have to give me a book with not so many words in it, because my grandma fell asleep in the middle of this one."
Next, I'd like to ask Mike Hogan, principal from Timberlane Regional Middle School. Thank you.
I'd like to just start by stating that, once again, the middle school table was the last one to get food tonight. There seems to be a pattern, and they also keep putting us way in the back. I'm not sure if it's something about middle school, but anyway, we are celebrating tonight Karen Medeiros at the middle school, and the fact that she made a decision which actually stunned me. Just before Christmas, she came in and said, "I just want to tell you something. And Karen doesn't ask for anything. I mean, she's the type of person who just comes to school every day, does her job. You know, she is the kind of person that is really a principal's dream and an assistant principal's dream. And so she comes in, she says, "Can I speak with you for a minute?" I'm thinking, what does she need? And she says, "I just want to let you know that I'm going to retire." And I was floored because she loves teaching, and she obviously had thought quite a bit about it, but I don't think any of us really thought that she was going to do that. So here we are, and so I'm here to say a few words about being a math teacher at the middle school level for 17 years. I'm starting with a quote. "A life spent making mistakes is not only more honorable, but more useful than a life spent doing nothing." George Bernard Shaw. When I think of the life of a math teacher, I think of someone who must be comfortable telling students that they're wrong. That their work is incomplete, or that there are other ways to solve a problem. Doing that every day for the past 17 years to middle school children, young adolescents in the midst of an often dramatic stage of life, could get you labeled as a little off-center. Karen Medeiros graduated from Salem State College in 1975 with a Bachelor's of Science degree in Business Administration. Her path to Timberlane Regional School District began when she started subbing. She was a district sub for 11 years. One of our favorite words these days is persistence, and she was persistent. She finally landed a middle school job teaching math in 1997. In speaking with her colleagues, they use words to describe Karen, which include dependable, great teammate, strong, a vital member of the faculty, caring, consistent, steady, and reliable. One teacher even called her the Rock. However, the one description of Karen that many people don't know is her sense of humor. Karen has a quick wit and effortless manner of employing lighthearted commentary in her class. One teammate recalled a recent event where a struggling student who was placed in her math literacy section, a boy who definitely needed some supports, walked into her room and said, "How do I get out of this room?" And she replied, "Right through the door like everyone else." Karen never gave up on the kids that she taught. She put in long hours after school, before school, during lunch to assist students who needed a little more support. In class, Karen understood that sometimes kids who didn't know the answer to a question could raise the white flag as a temporary reprieve from a question and let someone else field it. She also understood that students learn at different speeds and that learning is not a race. In fact, she knew that her own learning never ends. Karen mentored other math teachers, was a leader on the 7th grade math team, and was quick to respond positively to professional development opportunities or initiatives prompted sometimes by the principal. She has been a faithful participant for many years and the PTSA teacher rep from our school. Having attended those, we have had 8 years of third Monday nights of the month together. So I will miss having Karen at those meetings. Karen has 2 daughters, Kristen and Lynn is a Spanish teacher. Karen also has a beautiful granddaughter, Caitlin. Karen is looking forward to many leisurely days at Wells Beach and in Aruba, relaxing in retirement with her husband, Bill. In closing, Karen has been a tremendous asset to Timberlane Regional Middle School community. Just today, many, many people spoke about how much they will miss her. One such teacher said that in all of her time of teaching, she has never worked with someone as easygoing and flexible. Perhaps an even greater testament is that Karen always seems to remember what's going on in the lives of all the other people she works with. So we will miss you, Karen, and congratulations.
last but not least, Timberlane Regional High School. Don Woodworth, would you come up, please? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 retirees.
First of all, I want to congratulate Nancy and Gail and Eileen and Helen and Karen, and thank you for making our jobs at the high school so much easier with all the great work you've done for so many years. And I want to thank Mike Hogan for not shuffling the papers this year like he did last year, so I might be able to go in order here. The first person I'd like to honor tonight is Jose Chavez, who's been a high school Spanish teacher at Timberlane for the last 7 years. Jose was born and raised in Costa Rica, where he attended a name I can't pronounce, Carlos Miguel Obregon High School, and he worked there, went to school there at night, worked full-time during the day in order to attain his diploma. After graduation, he saved enough money to fulfill a dream and traveled to the United States to visit his sister, Vilma, who resided in Beverly, Mass. His visit turned into a long stay and his pursuit of U.S. citizenship. And he found work in a leather factory in Lynn and enrolled at night at Peabody Vocational High School to build upon his English speaking and writing skills. And over the next several years, he became a machinist in Salem and took a variety of courses at Salem State College and then Northern Essex, and then at Merrimack College, earning his Bachelor of Arts in English from UMass Lowell. He enrolled at Rivier College to pursue his master's degree in English and Spanish literature. He married Priscilla, the love of his life, who's here tonight. Hi, Priscilla. Graduated, landed a position with social services in Massachusetts, helping victims of neglect and abuse meet the challenges in their lives through education, specifically working with Spanish-speaking clients to acquire English-speaking and writing skills. In 2000, Jose completed an internship in Lawrence High School, secured a Master of Education degree from Rivier College, and landed a position at Lowell Catholic High School as an ESL English teacher. He later taught at Salem High School in Salem, Mass. In 2007, we were lucky enough to get him to come to Timberlane. During his years as an owl, Jose has loved the Timberlane students. His greatest joy, he tells me, is attending high school graduation every year, watching as the seniors receive their diplomas and take their first steps on their way to bigger and better things. He asked me to thank Rebecca Salois, who was his mentor and helped him overcome his aversion to modern technology, and Amy O'Leary, who provided daily inspiration and instructional advice. In retirement, Jose plans to return with Priscilla to Costa Rica, where they've already secured a home. He intends to volunteer his time to helping Costa Rican students who need help with English as they pursue their dreams, while Priscilla takes her Head Start experience and volunteers to support needy families near their home. Together, he and Priscilla hope to travel to enjoy seeing more of the United States and Europe. Jose, I'd like to thank you for sharing your joy for life with the students and staff at Timberlane High School. Congratulations on your retirement. Next, Elizabeth Ferrara, who's been with us 25 years in special education. Betsy was born in Charlestown, Mass., and grew up in an Irish household. Her parents, she tells me, both Irish immigrants. She attended parochial school at St. Mary's and Julie Billiard High School, both in Boston. After graduating from Julie Billiard in 1970, she attended Boston State College and pursued a degree in chemistry. Eventually, she switched gears and focused on social work and education. But in 1973, Betsy started her family, marrying and then bringing up her 3 children, Ken, Mary Beth, and Tim. In 1981, she moved to Salem, New Hampshire, and while initially she was a stay-at-home mom, she soon began work as a school bus driver and enrolled at Notre Dame College in Manchester, graduating in 1989 with a degree in elementary general special education. The Timberlane District hired Betsy to work in the Learning Center at Pollard School in 1989, and the next year, she joined the special education staff at the high school. Betsy has taken great joy in the daily triumphs of her students. But even more than that, she takes great pride in knowing she and her colleagues have made a meaningful impact on the lives of students with unique challenges. Her favorite memories, like Jose, are of high school graduations. She likes to see those students who she met as nervous and insecure freshmen cross the stage and proudly march off, diplomas in hand, to pursue their dreams. Betsy has loved being a witness to countless inspirational classroom teachers, and while supporting the needs of her students, she's had a great opportunity to watch the careers of her colleagues flourish. She remarked, "These kids are incredibly lucky to be getting such a great education." Living locally, Betsy has found that she daily sees the results of her hard work as she encounters her graduated students in town doing their jobs in local businesses. It's so good, she says, to see them happy, successful, and employed. Betsy asked me to thank a few individuals for whom she has the greatest respect and who she has relied upon while at Timberlane. First and foremost, Maureen White, who is here with her tonight, for her caring and inspired leadership, and to Barbara Shabandi, Colleen Bovey, Joanne Griffin, and Beth Rincon for their friendship and support over the years. Beth Rincon, who worked closely with Betsy as a special ed administrator, said of Betsy, "She was the one I called on when I needed a hand or needed advice, and she gave both gladly. She burned the midnight oil many times across the hall from my office, and I always felt better knowing that Betsy was on the job." Moving forward, Betsy intends to dote on her grandchildren, the clever Lily, who loves to shop, and the athletic Owen, who she fears will be tough to keep up with. She hopes to travel out of the country, perhaps getting to France, maybe with Lily, to do some shopping, and to spend uninterrupted time reading, gardening, and shopping online. Betsy, thank you for your giving heart and your generous soul, the time you've given to Timberlane. You've truly made a difference. Thank you. Next on my list is Les Levitt, who's been an educational assistant for the last 10 years at the high school. Les Levitt also has quite an interesting background. Born into a military family, Les grew up on bases in military communities around the country, moving every few years, a life that made him truly appreciate the importance of establishing and developing friendships. He graduated high school in West Haven, Connecticut, and attended Rock Mountain College in Billings, Montana, where he graduated with a dual major in history and drama. He returned to New England and taught social studies in Connecticut for 5 years, ahead of going back to school at Gordon Conwell Seminary in 1975. He earned his master's and was ordained in the UCC in 1979. His first church as a minister was in Colebrook, New Hampshire, and in 1981, he moved to Atkinson to become the Atkinson Congregational Church's minister, a position that he held from 1981 till 1994. That is where I met him, and I was immediately impressed with his optimistic sermons and his musical ministry. We were fortunate enough to convince him to join us in 2004, and he immediately became a valuable aid to the administrative team. In the past 10 years, Les has used his caring and creative talents to help students find their way, both in the hallways and through the difficulties that they encounter from time to time. He's assisted with student attendance, with discipline, with vocational school transportation, but perhaps the role the students most appreciate is his enthusiastic presence in the lunchroom, where he's been the custodian of the microphone for many years. He has serenaded us with song, told jokes, encouraged positive behaviors, done so with a smile every day. But the job has had its moments. One day, a number of years back, a student flew off the handle, got himself into a tussle in the lunchroom. And as Les reacted to break up the nonsense, he got bumped, got entangled in a rope that guided the lunch line, and fell to his back, where he struggled to get off his back in such a manner that he earned the nickname the Turtle. When we watched the video to determine the source of the issue, we found it much more entertaining simply to watch Les, as he was wiggling and twisting in his attempt to get back into action, and finally we were able to get a handle on the situation. Apart from that image, really it's his unselfish desire to help that we have most appreciated over the years. Les's greatest joy was being able to help a student with some aspect of his life or her life, finding a way to steer them to the best available resource in the building. He asked me to give special thank yous to Steve Rugaletti, with whom he had shared many great moments, both musically and in the operation of the building, and to Brenda Laycock and Sue Rosenberg, with whom he shared office space and many details of daily work, and to Ann and Vivian, who kept him laughing, and trusted friends like Don Renkus, Maria Denola, John Leary, and Josh Silvera. People like Les, who love coming to the high school each day to be a part of the educational process. Les says he has a lot of water left in the well, many miles left to travel, and many dreams left to pursue. He will miss Timberlane, but he cannot wait to get to his new home, the home that he and Robin have built in South Carolina, where Les intends to golf, paint landscapes, seascapes and murals, find volunteer work, play his guitar, stay away from rope. Les, we will miss you. Your time at Timberlane was a blessing to us all. Thank you. Sandra Master has been an administrative assistant at Timberlane Regional High School in various capacities for the past 23 years. Sandra was born and raised in Karachi, Pakistan, where she graduated from the Convent of Jesus and Mary High School in 1970. Her father, a business owner in the shipping industry, brought the family to Montreal to pursue a business opportunity. Leaving Pakistan in an area where the temperatures hovered daily near or above 100 degrees, they arrived in a blizzard and began a new life. Sandra found work in the shipping business, attended secretarial school, and helped support the family. It was in Montreal that Sandra ran into a man she would later have become her husband, Dungy, who was a civil engineer who had recently helped with the construction of the Olympic Stadium in Montreal, and whom Sandra had known as a student in Pakistan. They married and moved to Toronto, to the state of Washington, eventually back to New England to raise their two beautiful girls, Tara and Syra. Sandra began volunteering at Atkinson Academy, and in 1991 took the position of teacher assistant. Principal Barbara Weatherspoon chose her to become her administrative secretary, and in 2000, Sandra moved to the high school, where she has been an administrative assistant to the guidance director for the past 14 years. Sandra has loved her years working for our district. She's appreciated her co-workers' friendship and will miss the students and the business of the guidance office, the counselors, and most of all her boss, for whom she has the utmost respect, guidance director, Mr. Barry Chulgen. She will miss her daily lunchmates, Brenda and Doreen, her fellow secretary in the guidance office, Sharon Skinner, and the feeling of satisfaction that comes from doing her job effectively and consistently. In retirement, Sandra looks forward to becoming a grandmother and moving close to her daughters, to traveling with Dungy, who is also retired, and to sleeping past 5:30 in the morning. Sandra, thank you for your professionalism, your talent, your attention, your caring for the staff and students at Timberlane High School. Best wishes in your retirement. finally, here to celebrate the retirement of Deb St. Germain, an art teacher at the high school for the past 15 years. Deb grew up in Hampton, New Hampshire, and attended Winnicott High School, where she was inspired by an enthusiastic and talented art teacher, Mr. Spike Prevoir, to develop her drawing and painting and talent in art in college. Deb attended UNH and graduated with her BA in Fine Arts 4 years later. After college, she married, moved to Hawaii, where her husband was stationed in the U.S. Navy. There she started her family and had 2 children, Christy and Dan. Christy, by the way, is now working as a conservator of paintings in Washington, D.C., and Dan is a graphic illustrator. So while she held off getting started in teaching in a formal educational setting for a while, she apparently had begun transferring her skills at an early age. St. Germain's relocated to New Hampshire, and when her husband took a job at the Kittery shipyard in Maine, and Deb decided it was time to go back to school. And she went to Franklin Pierce and earned her New Hampshire teaching certification. She was hired at Timberlane Middle School in 1994, and she spent 9 years there as a Tiger ahead of joining us at the high school for the past 6 years, where her tremendous skills have enabled us to offer a robust pottery program and to inspire students to further their art education, much like Mr. Prevoir did for her in 1976. Deb is most proud of certain projects that she assigned, because such as the celebrity portraits that she had her kids do. In those creative moments, students became amazed with their own abilities, achieved much more than they had ever anticipated being able to do. And in setting the bar higher, actually learned that they could do more inspired work the next time. Deb asked me to convey her deep appreciation to her colleagues in the art department for their friendship and their support, and to Deb Sargent for her creative influence, and to Kathy Tessimon for her ability to engage and instill confidence in others. Her emotions have run high as she remembers all the strong relationships she's enjoyed at Timberlane over the years, and she warns that we should not take that aspect of teaching for granted. In retirement, Deb hopes to continue her own painting, to travel, and to spend as much time with the people that she loves, in particular her parents, as possible. Congratulations, Deb. We appreciate all that you have done for us and all that you have done for your students. Thank you.
I'd also like to take this opportunity. We have several honor guests that could not make it tonight, so I just wanted to mention them and give them a round of applause. Linda Hewer, Louise Janelle, Denise O'Leary, Barbara Sargent, and Dorena Smith. They're also all retiring, so have a nice round of applause and congratulations. Well, in closing, once again, you have given so much to Timberlane. I encourage you to go on, remember to swing while the bat's still in your hand, enjoy your life. May God bless you, God bless your families, and once again, thank you on behalf of all of Timberlane. You're irreplaceable, and we appreciate everything. So God bless and good night.